Nice to see you all again. Again, it's just an honor to be a part of Millie's story, just to get a chance to hear from all of you, and just to see this really awesome legacy of welcoming and kind and wonderful people. And so I'm eager to hear from you tonight. I'm just going to open us up with prayer and a couple of pieces of scripture, and then I'd like to hear from you guys. Maybe we'd all would. So let's pray. Gracious Spirit, creator of life, carrier of hope, make your presence known among us. Enable us to be brave in our remembering, honest in our sorrow, and open in love and compassion to each other. Help us to seek not so much answers to our questions, but rather the patience to mourn and to grieve. Enable us to remember with joy the lives of those that we have loved. Send us your peace. Amen. Couple pieces from the Apostle Paul, different letters, from Romans chapter 8. Paul writes, "In all of these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor power, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all of creation will it be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." The other day, I suppose it was just yesterday, I had a chance to talk to Jay a little bit and to be reminded of Millie and Dunn's just ideally romantic partnership that they had, and 75 years and 3/4 of a century being together. And it's just such a fantastically romantic story, and I like hearing it. So in honor of that, I thought from the first letter to Corinthians, "If I speak in the tongues of humans and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all of my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see only a reflection, as in a mirror. But then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love remain. These three. And the greatest of these is love."
gonna say that Millie welcomed me into the Abernathey Condas family with open arms. She is a beautiful, wonderful, gracious woman with so many talents. I can't believe all the talent she had. We both had the love of flowers, but oh, she is so smart. When they were working on the house out there with the A, Dwayne was out there actually with me, and we were out there and they were redoing woodwork and he was helping him with stuff. And I took this old antique potty chair and an antique high chair that I had, that they allowed me to bring those to their house and use their sanding equipment and everything to refinish it for Tammy, our oldest daughter, so I got to be able to do all that woodwork with her. But she shared a lot of things with me that was so memorial, so wonderful, that, I don't know, she just welcomed me and I just really loved her. And you guys are so fortunate to have such a wonderful mother, grandmother, and she was a wonderful person.
Thanks, Sarah.
I loved her strawberries.
Okay, I just have one thing. You knew it was gonna happen, right, Jay? So when you guys lived in that White House by the Catholic Church, and I don't know, we weren't very old and everything, we were running around, and we were over visiting, and she asked me, she said, do you want something to drink? And I said, sure. And I thought it was grape Kool-Aid, and it was iced tea. And I told her, I took a swallow, and I made this look on my face, and she said, what? I said, this isn't Kool-Aid. She goes, no, it's iced tea. And she goes, don't you like it? And I said, no. And she goes, but you still have to drink it. To this day, I cannot drink iced tea.
That's my favorite.
I made it by the gallons. It was my husband and my 3 kids' favorite. I made it all.
Did you have to sit at the table and drink it all?
No, I tried to sneak out. But anyway, it was just one of the things I thought of with Melanie.
Yeah, and then they had to sit there and finish it all.
Well, talking about having to eat all your food, it was the same thing with us. Whenever we would always, dish our plates up, and she'd make sure we ate all of it. And there was that one. Who always had a ton of stuff on his plate. He just was always piling it up, and she would make him sit there and eat it all day. Yeah.
And then there'd be dessert, either Jell-O or vanilla ice cream.
Always.
Same kind of Jello, or was it?
Oh, I think there was a
She liked to put stuff in the Jell-O, which I didn't like that.
I always picked ice cream.
But usually from cocktail, which is gross anyway.
You must have picked ice cream. Yeah, we had ice cream.
We had ice cream.
And the chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Bananas were okay.
She also loved, wasn't it peaches and cream? Is that the other thing she put together? Peaches and, what else remember?
Ham, chicken, and peaches and...
What?
Well, the one thing,
Chicken salad.
she ate a lot of canned chicken.
She did.
The one thing that we never were forced to clean up our plates with was her chocolate cake. And I was thinking about this, that chocolate cake was always on that pedestal cake stand, She and Dad got that from Mildred Abernathey as a wedding gift. And we had our birthday cakes on that cake pedestal from the time we were 3 years old and on. How many moms would take out something crystal and use it for a little kid's birthday party? I mean, and there wasn't a birthday that went by to the day when Brianna had to take away the birthday cakes that we didn't have chocolate birthday cake on that dust cake. And it was 3 tiers of chocolate cake, cream boiled chocolate frosting in between each layer, and the cake was covered side and top, and always candles. Always candles. Yep. And we got some great pictures of everybody trying to blow out those candles.
And I love when it was like Grandpa's birthday or her birthday, and there was still enough candles. Yes. They're gonna start a fire, yeah.
There was.
That was when she started into her cake making experience.
No, that was too early for that, but, and you know what? Mom and Dad even did that together, because Mom would boil the frosting up, and then that particular frosting had to be beaten, right, Brianna? Yep. And Mom got tired of doing it by the time we were 10 or so, and so then Dad took over, and he would do the beating part, and then she would frost, and he knew when it was done.
And I'm not sure I raised my hand to take over this.
What happened was, we weren't getting any chocolate cake, so somebody had to take over. You know, there was a pretty dry year there.
I'll say yes.
Yeah, so Brianna gave her a whirl. The first 2 weren't real great, but then we were so glad we had chocolate.
He put his foot down.
But she has it.
Yeah, she's got it down.
Yep, she's got it down now. That was one thing we didn't have to be forced to eat.
No, that was
In fact, we fought over the
edges.
The corner pieces. That's round cake.
Yeah. You know.
Well, I guess I'll tell one taken off from the cake thing, because since we're talking about food. She did make a lot of wedding cakes, as we know, and I got probably one of the nice little notes from Sherry Nelson, Sherry Coates. And she had sent me a text message just saying that she heard her mom passed away, and she was out in Arizona, but wanted to let us know how sorry she was, and also to share a story that when she got married, her mom, Della Nelson, who was also a great baker herself, had said, who are we going to get to make the wedding cake? And Della said, let's get Millie, because she'll make it right. The only problem was Mom wasn't quite so sure she could make the cake because she wanted red frosting. She had red dresses for an August wedding. She had red dresses, red frosting on her cake. And Mom fretted over it, she said, for 3 months trying to get the icing just right so it wouldn't bleed into the roses or bleed here or bleed
Or
there.
turn pink.
And
Wow.
Sherry made certain that Mom knew that she did not like the color pink, even though when I went to the prom with her as a junior, she wore a pink dress. But anyway, I digress. She didn't like pink. I guess so, she married Tim anyway. But it was great that Sherry took the time, and then I found out afterwards there were so many of my classmates before and after me that also Mama made the wedding cake. And there's one picture in the video show from Debbie Peril Flowers that she made their wedding cake also, along with a lot of others. So anyway, the best part about when Mom made wedding cakes was that for months she would make these sheet cakes because she would be designing the cake in her mind, and then Dad would cut the boards to make sure they're right, elevate them up. He was the
Yeah, we
architect.
did that together.
And they'd go and buy these little pillars or whatever. But the best part about when she made cakes, for 3 months before, she'd bake them. And she'd make sure that they're perfectly flat and round, and then she'd put them in the freezer to freeze until she needed them. We had scraps of chocolate or vanilla or whatever type of cake it was for months. And then she would make this quick syrup frosting to go on top of it, and Dad would make homemade ice cream.
Oh, yum.
So it was awesome. You know, we were spoiled. We didn't even know it. We didn't know that everybody else, all the rest of the family was doing that. So, and Charles, you'll like this story, because talking about the genealogy, the other story that I'll share with you is that, you know, I've heard lots of times how Ava and Doug talked about Mom and Dad just dropping into the farm, right? To visit without calling or like that, or drop into the lake, or drop here, drop there. Well, they drop in on me too when I was out on the East Coast, but they'd come for a month. They'd bring the motorhome and away they'd come. So on one of these trips when I was living in Charlottesville, I was just maybe there a year, all of a sudden there they were, the motorhome parked up there at the Capsec headquarters right outside the print shop. Got to know the printer real well, and Sandra, the print shop manager. But anyway, one day we decided Mom wanted to do some of her genealogy research. At that point, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't really have computers, so you had to do a lot of letter writing, which she had done quite a bit of that to the Library of Congress in DC, the main reading room. And she had made an appointment to go there to get a couple of these books to research on genealogy for the family. And of course, then you had to have an appointment, you still do to this day, to get into that main reading room of the Library of Congress. So Dad and I, we get up at 4 in the morning, drive up there, wanted to beat the traffic, and we got a great parking spot.
In the motorhome.
In the motorhome, we got a great parking spot. We're on, I'd say we're probably on 10th Street or 12th Street, in between the two avenues by the mall, where like parks, we can see the Capitol's right there. Washington Monument's right here. We're parked right here. Grass lawn. We got the big windows of the motorhome. We just open them up, and there we go. We're having our coffee. Mom had like a 9 o'clock appointment, so the way she marches up the lawn to go to the by herself.
Walking by herself.
And so, and this is 1985. And so we, Dad and I, decided, oh, let's walk around a little bit. And so we walked down to the Willard Hotel, which at that point they were just completely gut renovated. And they were down to steel work, and they're putting steel up. So we sat across right there, the little concrete mall, and there was a little hot dog stand there and a beer stand. We sat there probably 2-3 hours, had 2 beers, a couple hot dogs, watching the cranes, construction, all that. And then we go back to the motorhome because, you know, no cell phone, so we got to make sure meet Mom at the right time and get out of town before the traffic hits. And which made it really easy, just go around the corner down 14th Street, we're around, right? But anyway, we get back there and the cop is standing outside the motorhome. And you know what Dad is, right? Cop says, what are you doing here? Parked here like this. But what do you mean? I can park here. And he said, no, you can't. And he said, well, where's likely to park this truck? If I drive up the grass? You know, he just kept going. So after a while, the cop just came up and he just said, you guys are fine, just stay here, just whatever. You know, he gave up. Well then, about an hour later.
You have a North Dakota license plate? Oh, no wonder.
It did, North Dakota license. And so a little bit later, Mom comes walking down the mall. You can see her, she's walking on down, she gets in and we asked her how her day was. Oh, it's good. She says, except for I made the wrong appointment. She said, I didn't need to go to the Library of Congress. I needed to go to the annex. And she goes, but they were nice enough. They walked me over there, showed me where the annex was across the street, the other direction. Got her hooked up with the right people, got the books, all this kind of stuff. And so she got the information she needed. But what that points out is how diligent she was about getting the genealogy stuff down right. And also, she didn't need Dad to lead her around. She was fine on her own. Oh, we were fine. We had beer, not us.
Don's sitting here going, how do you relate to that?
Oh, yeah. I'll park where I damn want to.
Don is the administrator from Wellington when Mom and Dad lived there. And Don will tell you, but Don and Don have many moments.
A few. But it heads now and then. I never did get a garage built that he wanted. That was a problem for quite some time.
Did he even volunteer to build it for you?
He actually found a building.
They volunteered to use you.
He was, we had the people from the city out figuring out if we could build it where we thought we wanted to build it. Yeah, he came out there with us. Oh my God. That's funny. But Millie would come to my office and we'd sit and visit quite a bit. Probably a few of her poems to type up for her and put them on paper. Sweet, sweet lady.
What I loved about Millie was she was a great poet and an artist. And after our 3 kids were born, I found out about this when my oldest, Christopher, was born. And suddenly in the mail comes this absolutely beautiful framed picture from Millie. And it's a poem, and she did this for Leanne, Chris, and Sean, my 3 kids. And I don't know if she did this for all of the other ones, but so I'll just read. This is from Millie for Christopher Ryan Cronkite, and it's a beautiful picture. I'll bring some tomorrow. I have all 3 pictured from. They're up on the wall in our hallway, and it shows the date, the size of the baby, and the weight of the baby. And so for Christopher, she writes, "A baby boy, a bundle in blue. Mom and Dad will take good care of you. Every day and throughout every year, you'll fill this house with laughter and cheer. You're soft and cuddly and oh so small, showing the miracles of life to all. You'll smile and cry, then laugh and coo. Your life begins to unfold for you. And she goes on, it's just amazing. So this was unique for Christopher, and she did one for our daughter Leanne, and for one for John.
Is that plastic?
No, it's just, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'll bring a picture tomorrow. I brought them. I have pictures of this that I printed out. So it's just,
It would be interesting to see how many of you got it, because I'm sure, maybe not so much of you guys, but I know that there were many. Your kids do, yeah. And she would have like one, I would just remember this one for the weight. There was a stork with a scale in his mouth.
yeah.
This little baby in the scale, and then the weight was on there for that. I mean, it was watercolor. She did watercolor and ink is what they are. And then calligraphy.
Dad told me.
You did? Jack did the frames? Yeah. Excellent.
All four of our children got them when they were born, and they have frames. And the wood was made from something special. I don't remember where Donald got the wood, but it was always, and the wood came from, it's written, I think, on the back of them, where the wood actually came from.
It's just some straps off some building somewhere.
But also, yeah, probably my own house. But the other thing, talking of the poems written, she always sent a poem at Christmas time. She always, to our birthday club, which we met for many, many, many years. Millie and I are in the same birthday club, if you can imagine that. But we went to the same birthday club, and every single person that had a birthday got a poem that they either could or could not frame if they wanted to. But it was meaningful just to them. And there were times I would talk to Millie, and she was like working on this poem, and I said, "Oh, well, Millie, their birthday isn't until July." And she says, "Oh, I know, but I've changed this one so many times. I just have to get the right words for this one." And I thought, "Oh, Millie, write 3 words and be done." Let's get out of here.
Use AI, come on.
The other thing we did together, we made Christmas ornaments for this church's Christmas tree. And perfectionist, I am not. Perfectionist, Millie is. I found out that day, I don't want to work on any projects with her again. We spent months working on, they're all little black styrofoam things with gold beads and gold ribbons. This was all before, not AI, but this was all before internet where you got these ideas. They said, "Where do you come up with this stuff?" But yeah, she had balls and crosses and squares and crucifixes, everything you can imagine. Bibles made so that we could decorate this tree. And those were on our tree here every single year for just until the last, I'd say 5 to 10 years. Yeah, there were some of those that we added into this nest, but I think before that she might have taken the white felt ones home, changed her mind.
She made me one, or Dwayne one for Christmas one year, and she used, I think it was pheasant feathers or.
Yep, we don't have pheasant feathers, but there's also,
Show that picture, it's something I had.
Yeah.
Maybe now I know where it came from.
What's that? You
I
taught
know we all
yourself
have
calligraphy.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
learning
they do.
self-taught.
We have all, know where they're at.
Well, now you have a treasure.
I'm next, go look next.
Okay, I have a funny story that's not me with me tomorrow. Because, and this is why, but I'm going to share it with family. She also wrote a lot of journals that we all got to keep. We all have a lot of journals from
every year.
that she wrote for us.
Just for them.
Yep.
It was about her time with them.
And I'm like, oh, that'd be a good thing to put in there. And I'm reading through some of it. And every entry is like, Brianna was such a brat. I have to send her with Grandpa down to the basement. And I took Ashley. She's such a sweet. And we went upstairs to play. And just like on. And I'm like, oh, I remember saying Grandma.
that Brianna is a very intelligent brat. She can manipulate anything. And that's where Millie said, this is happening. I was probably with Millie.
Wrap this up.
Well, she loved me ever so much. How lucky you are to have a grandma with all that love. To write it down!
I love Brianna so much today, I sent her downstairs and played with her.
That's what you meant to say.
I wish I had the journal about Andrew, that would be really good.
Let's pull that out.
I don't know if I want to do that.
I can about imagine what she had to say
I remember
about
one time I went over to Canton, Canada, they lived in Thompson, across the street, right? And I walked over there, and she's like, don't go inside. I'm polite, okay. So I go over there, and she's like, come inside, okay. And then I go back, then the phone rings, and she answered it, and she said, your grandma said you had to come back. So I go back, and she was, you disobeyed me. Oh, shit. That was pretty serious. Never did that again. I think I hesitated once before I'm not sure. I think it was just a principle I disobeyed her. I don't think it's one part of the big deal. Just the fact that I did do what she said.
So where did you go, Andrew? I didn't understand this house you were at.
Across the road. They were looking at it. She just didn't want me to go on and eat. And it was wrong. She didn't want me to be like
Sure.
The point that I didn't listen, that was the point. She was very
I'll vouch for that.
Yeah.
So when I was little, I snuck over to see Millie all the time because I'd be out at Grandpa's and he'd be working in the shop and doing all sorts of things, and I didn't really want to mess with coal or whatever he was tinkering with, and Millie'd be out with flowers and I'm like, oh, that looks so much more fun. So pretty soon I'd be sneaking over there just to see what Millie was up to, and she showed me all of her arts and crafts and her paintings and would take me upstairs and always had little cookies and glasses of juice and just spoiled me.
It was a nice tea.
That's what she got upstairs. Upstairs she got the cookies.
That's where I was a lot. Hold on, that's not true.
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
She was always just so sweet, and she saved me from having to be in the shop and getting dirty. I mean,
That's fun.
Yeah, she did love to teach too. Like she taught me how to embroider. That was like one of her favorite things, I feel like, was embroidery for a time. So she would, put that little wood thing around and I'd be embroidering in that. Whatever that was called. I'm not sure. I don't remember the term, I was pretty little, but I remember the stitching part.
Needlepoint.
And then at one point I wanted to make a quilt. So I was like, Grandma, can you help me make a quilt? And she was like, oh, she was so excited to help me make this quilt. So we spent days together making this quilt for a friend. And
What were you doing in the basement?
yeah. Do you remember this?
You were playing pool, right?
Yes. I was learning how to play pool and foosball.
Grandma should have been teaching that too.
I must have made it in, and I was like, I'm sorry, I stopped over you and I put a hole in it. Yes.
I brought that up.
I was like, he's
Oh
gonna
my
kill
gosh,
me.
here's Grandma, and at that point in time, she was in her 80s,
Yes.
mid-80s, and kind of wobbly even still
Yes.
at that point, and we're at your place.
Andrew's basement.
Andrew's place
Mm-hmm.
in Fargo.
Yep.
We had the ping pong table set up, and Jaden was playing, that's Brianna's oldest one, playing with, I think he wore out everybody. And then I want somebody to play with me, and Mom says, I'll play, Jaden. We kind of looked down at him. Well, okay. So, it was And so, you know, she kind of does a couple of these things and steps this way and then steps this way and James waiting. And she serves. He doesn't have a chance. To return that serve, it was game over. Not just one game. He had to play, what, 3 or 4 games with her to try and beat her, and he could not beat her.
Paddle
I mean,
everywhere.
they're like spinning it, and you know, he
Well,
was
towards,
so
towards
impressed.
the end, she had to put one hand on the table. She was getting tired. She was
Sitting on one end and still going.
But she was like that with baseball or softball, because we would do family reunions way back when, and always had a big baseball game going on, and she would hit that ball, it would be gone. And she was badminton, tennis. She really had great eye-hand coordination.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That was it. We all just, the room just got silent. We were all just kind of watching, and Jake was getting more frustrated.
It's like,
And nobody else wanted to play.
No,
we're not keeping around.
no, that was like, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Doug didn't even get up.
No, no, he didn't. Yeah.
Now I want to know.
There was a lot of good moments in Jared's journals. I got my hands on those when I was pregnant with Leif, so he's 7 now, and there was what was going to be the nursery. The closet was full of Jared's journals. So I'm pregnant, nothing better to do. I spent about 3 hours reading every journal. Some entries would be, she wrote them to Jared, and she'd be like, today you stopped by, you took the garbage out, and you had a chicken salad sandwich. It was a nice visit. The end. Some were like this, some were lengthier. I think it was your junior prom. She said, tonight I saw you at your junior prom. You looked nice, your date looked beautiful, but I really wish your mom would have made you get a haircut. And then there was maybe it was we went to homecoming court. And once again, you looked handsome, but your shirt was wrinkled. I mean, it's like but the cherry on top, the best one. This was like a 3-page entry. And I think Jay was doctoring in the cities after his accident. So Emily and Kylie went and stayed with Olson's or something. Brianna and Ashley went with, I don't know where you were.
Anybody know?
He was with me.
I mean, you were staying with them. And she wrote, Dear Jared, I was so worried you didn't come home last night. I was worried sick. I sent your grandpa out looking for you this morning, and thank God you had fallen asleep working on your derby car. And I right away was like, there's more. It was not, maybe you're working on a car, but that's not all you were doing. So he gets home, and I've got my big pregnant belly in this journal. I'm like, sit down. Stop. And I read it, and he's just like, I was out all night. I was like, you lied to your sweet grandma. You fell asleep. That was the truth. I mean, did anybody else believe that he was sleeping? I should have had a highlighter because there was a lot of good stories.
So I have.
You guys gotta get those up.
I know, I actually do.
I know where they're at. Yeah, just gotta do it.
You know where they're at?
Yeah, I'm all my house.
Yeah,
Oh, you have yours.
Mine
Oh,
too.
your house.
Mine, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. in my
She's
chest.
like 17.
Where is it, your house?
I'm not gonna read mine.
Probably yours.
I don't wanna know.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh, we got it.
I don't wanna know.
She's in all like
it was always a compliment with a butt. Compliment came first, but.
Yeah.
Or there wasn't a but the compliment just sort of like rolled into a,
Not so much.
yeah.
Like Brianna's whole journal.
Yeah, she was really good with those sandwich, you know.
I can't wait for you.
Yeah.
I remember Grandpa had that fainting, whatever. I was mowing the yard and fainted at the sink. So we had to bring him to the hospital, and Grandma was all worried. So it's Grandpa in the back, me driving the minivan, and Millie in the front seat. And she was just like, go faster, go. So I'm maxing this minivan out. I'm like, what if we get, like, she was
How old were you? 12.
16. Yeah. She's just sitting there in this passenger seat and we're flying down the interstate, or like, or road, highway, I'm like, holy smokes. So then we get there and it was kind of cute. She was holding his hand and he wakes up or whatever, and she's like, I thought I lost you. I'm like, just mowing the yard. Here we are. So, and like going to Tortilla Flat, same thing. Go faster. I'm like, I'm gonna fall off this cliff.
Grandpa did drive like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hate it. It stresses me out.
Me too. I made Paul drive down. Like, Grandpa,
Go faster.
Paul to drive down this hill. He fell.
No, he didn't make me nervous. When I drove, I was nervous. He's always telling me to go faster.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody tell the Tom story.
I can tell that.
Okay.
Speaking of, I was never allowed to go faster. I was always told to slow down. Actually, I was never allowed to drive. You're still not. Somebody else can drive. Ashley can drive. Ashley can drive. 14 years old. Ashley
She
can
can drive
drive.
anytime.
Anytime.
You guys haven't noticed.
Wait.
Actually, usually my picture should be in that casket.
It really should be.
The Tom story goes back to the days before you really had
Of course, it's about
that.
dad,
And it's kind of like a family out anyway. It's me, mom, and dad, right? So it's all of us. And we're in Florida, and we decided to go over to Clearwater that day or whatever. We were outside the villages. And so it was like, there's a nice 2-3 hour drive or whatever. But Savacools were with us. Arnola and Dale, who were a little bit prim and proper, more so than even mom, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
At least Arnola is, maybe not. But anyway, we're driving along, and Dad had a history of that little tom-tom that he had in order to get directions and to talk to him in this shrill little voice. Turn right, no, not that way. Turn around. All kind of stuff. And we've been putting up with this for like the last 3 days in a row. So we're along the interstate, Dad is in the left-hand lane, there's 3 more lanes over here. He's driving along, and all of a sudden the woman says to take a right. Dad rolled down his window and he goes, lady, I think you and I need to part ways. So I took that tom-tom and threw it out the window. Mom just sat there as navigator, didn't say a word, I rolled in the back seat. Mom would probably told him to do it earlier, right?
I remember driving with them, and they had the pillows in the back seat, and there was a couch. And I just were sitting there, there was no music,
No, never.
no sound.
Nope.
I could just hear his hands on the steering wheel. It's about the only sound.
That brought you in.
I needed noise. Then you go into my family car, and I want to be back in their car.
When we were kids, we would stay in Jared's house in the wintertime. My grandma and grandpa would go south for the winter. We would have a little tiny house where your patio is now, Jared. Anyway, every Christmas we would go south to Missouri to visit with Virginia and family. And Dad had an old 57 Chevy, and they would take the twin mattress off my bed and put that in the back seat so that they could get up at 4 o'clock, and Guy and I had a bed to sleep in.
That suitcase is proper
And
enough.
the suitcases were underneath Dad so that it'd stay up. So anyway, it would be dark, we'd be driving, we'd both, crawl, get our knees right up to the back of the front seat and be like this, and Dad, tell us some stories. So he would be telling us stories about when he was a teenager driving through, circles in the snow and ending up in somebody's yard so many feet from the front door, and different stuff like that, and they were great. We'd start laughing, and then Mom would start singing. And it was always Browns, and not politically correct, because one was the Coral Slave, and that we could
Who's
sing.
gone the rest?
It would not the rest, and his coral bones, something or other, and you could sing it in rounds, so we had 4 rounds going. And then, Michael Rose and all this, and we'd sing for probably 10, 15, 20 miles.
Finally, we're at mine now. You're there yet? You're there yet?
But look, that's how we traveled. It was fun. We just, those are great stories. I mean, I don't remember a lot of those.
So you were talking about driving. One year I went to Arizona with Dad. We always drove.
Guy was busy doing something else.
It was just Dad and I. And he had this big Buick, and we were driving. We got, I don't know, north of Denver. And he said, "Why don't you drive for a while?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." I did not have a driver's license. I was like 13. And so I'm driving
Through Denver?
big boat. And I said, "No, Denver's right up here. Do you want to switch out?" "No, I'm doing fine." He's in the passenger seat reading his paper. Just keep going. So it was noon, rush hour.
Oh my gosh.
Going through Denver and like 5 lanes of traffic. And Dad's pointing stuff out. "Oh, look at that thing over there. Santa Claus is past us. You see that?" And I'm like, "Nope." Drove right through Denver. And yeah, we drove straight through. We got down by Show Low. We were about out of gas. There was nowhere to stop for gas. So we shut the car off when we were going down.
Oh my God.
We start the car to go up the hill. Yeah, but if you guys didn't know, Guy was always Mom's favorite, in case you didn't know. But when Mom and Dad moved out of Jared's house, there was 3 graduation pictures. There was me, and then there was Ava and Guy. And we moved everything down, and I was looking at their wall, and there was Guy, and there was Ava, and mine was still hanging at Jared's place. So, and it was like that till the very end. It was like, I'd go down, I was down there, and Ava had set up this nice Christmas tree, and Guy's picture was right behind the Christmas tree.
I had one of mine.
When she moved from the Wellington, your picture didn't make it.
Yeah.
Whoops, this guy.
So I said, "Well, that's a nice place for the Christmas tree. It's covering up Guy's picture." I was just trying to get a rise out of her, She said, "Oh, that's okay. I've got plenty of pictures of Guy over there."
Make sure that he's one on the picture.
Then I came down a week or 2 later, and I sat down and said hi and stuff, and I sat down. The first thing she said was, "Do you know where Guy is?"
I heard that
Guy could do no wrong, but Jacob.
I have to meet Jay. I had to be longer though.
Well, Don continued to drive because he would take the van from the Wellington and go to Toad's to get the car washed on Thursday mornings because that's when they had the senior discount. Whether it needed or not.
Were you in the office when he was sneaking out? Was that you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He thought he was so smart and sneaky that he was sneaking out so that she didn't know. He parked right in front of her window.
Yeah, because, we wanted everybody to sign out so we knew who was in the building and who wasn't. That was not for him.
No.
Mom signed out every time. Mom signed out every time, right where they're going, the whole work the time. Dad just.
And then he started
go
parking.
out the side door.
Then he started parking in the back,
Mhm.
and so then he would go out this way instead of
Yeah.
your office side. He was on the other side, and you
Yeah.
could just go.
Down and out, go out the back way. But Mom also didn't think I knew.
He was I actually found when we cleaned out our apartment, and I don't know why they were, maybe we used them for packing or something, but there were 2 full-size flat sheets there. And one was one that Mom had embroidered for Grandma Ruth. And it was Ruth with some things like this. And then the other one was ours, that she and Dad would have had on theirs. And it always amazed me when I looked at her embroidery, the back would kind of like needlepoint in a way. When you turned it over, you didn't see any knots. You saw the pattern. Margaret, you can probably relate to that because I'm sure that's how you learned how to do it too. That's okay. But it was as beautiful on the back side as it was on the front. Perfection, sheer perfection. And all of her embroidery was that way. She had made an Easter dress for me. Oh, she tried so hard to make me a feminine girl. She tried hard. But this one, you know, remember the 50s, so it had the waistband here, and then it had a flap that went this way, and then the one that went this way, and one over here, and same in the back. And she had embroidered on every one of these big flowers around that. And it was a peach color, and the embroidery was all in ivory. And then, of course, there had to be lace going all the way around each one. And then there was the underskirt, and it had lace all the way around. Big puffy sleeves with lace around. I think you guys ended up with it. And then on the chest, there was some embroidery here, too. I mean, she tried, it was absolutely stunning. The embroidery was beautiful. Her little girl just wasn't that type of girl.
Well, speaking of all the stuff she made,
Oh, yeah, you guys.
oh my gosh, she made us so many outfits for every single holiday. Which we kept, actually, Brianna's ended up in my box, so I have like double of all these dresses.
And they were always the same.
And they were all the same, so I have, like just 2 different sizes. But it worked out great because I have 2 girls and they found this box of dress-up clothes and they thought it was like the best day ever. So they were trying them all on, and Becca wore some to school because she had like an old school bag, you know, like that was stuff like the old time.
I think I've seen that.
And then the costumes too that she made for you guys too, the costumes.
Doesn't she love the shape?
Oh, yeah, they were,
Yeah, I think that was actually, was it one Grandma made for me?
like when you were Wendy or something.
Oh, it might have been a costume, so I still have that. Becca found that one, and she wears that at night. That's like one of her favorite night gowns. So it was that one, like embroidery, and there's like a couple of ties on the front. Yeah, so the girls actually love
Christmas.
And the baptism things. Was it Andrew that had the cute little white pants with the little jacket, or was that Jared?
Both of them.
No, he had the white pants, Jared had a white, like just a pajama.
So he had
made the vest for it and
Yeah.
stuff, because he was so little.
That was bad.
By the time Andrew got baptized, he had outgrown what she done for him, but he still wore
Well,
it.
and Jared was pretty, so that was small.
Yeah, and Jared actually fit in Santa Claus's hat.
Oh, yeah.
Next question, all of these skills, embroidering, calligraphy, is this all self-taught?
Yep.
All of it?
The cake decorating, the hats that she would make, the tailoring, that was all classes that she took from the YWCA. But I was telling Guy on the way, she had one basic pattern. He asked me when she learned how to sew. And I think being a depression child, you know, she probably learned how to sew. I was looking at the pictures, most of her clothes were store-bought. So probably learned to sew when they moved into your house, Jared, as like 13, 14 years old. And then, of course, home ec in high school. But she had a basic patterns. Growing up watching her sew, she had a basic, just a basic sheath with the waistband in it and stuff like that, pattern. And she would go through Vogue magazines or with some of those other ones from that time, and she would say, oh, I want that dress. Or she'd see somebody on TV, an actress in a movie, in a dress. Oh, I want that. And she would use that pattern, and she would create that dress, spit an image, to fit her perfectly. She had some beautiful, beautiful dresses in the 50s, absolutely gorgeous, that she made herself.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But her dad, Grandpa Lester, was very artistic and poetry and, you know, the accordion and played the organ
And a saw.
and loved, yeah, and the saw, I remember the saw too, and, you know, the gardening and plants and all of that.
He sold shoes during the Depression. He had the whole, did you guys ever see that in the
Yes.
basement? He had the machine with those metal things that you put
Yeah,
inside
he
a
actually
shoe.
had it in the old, in their house in Lansford too.
Oh, did he?
He had it was in there at one time.
So then, when they traveled, you know, were like in all of those, Indiana and Iowa and places like that, I think that's in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, I think that's when he started on that. And that's what he did there, was sold shoes. And people, during the Depression break, people would bring their shoes in, and he would put new soles on for them. And it was like this thick, you know, yeah, that's what he did. Is that right?
Did you guys sell popcorn back then? Did they? Or no? When you guys had a popcorn stand outside, so when people came and got their shoes and picked up and selling popcorn? What did you do?
On Saturdays, you did it outside the movie theater, didn't you, Margaret? Mom always would tell the story of these two little girls. Margaret gave us a little bit of color, and they'd have these pigtails, one on this side, one on this side, and two big bows. And they would come with their little bags of popcorn, and they would stand outside the movie theater and sell popcorn.
Oh, that's cute.
That was their spending money.
Just like you, actually.
I know, it actually is creepy. I thought it was a picture of me and her sewing.
Yes, I walked up into her sewing room one time, and I saw the picture on the wall, and it was braids on each side, and I'm like, Grandma, looking around. She has a ton of pictures, but that was a bigger one, and I'm like, why do you only have a picture of Ashley in here and not the rest of us? She goes, that's not Ashley, that's me.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You're not keeping any journals, are you? Oh, I just want, Nate, you're the only one here, so I'm gonna pick on you. Of all of the sons-in-laws, what was your first impression when you had to meet Grandma Millie?
That is it.
I mean, you have
Yeah,
that.
sure.
You have that. Doesn't that look just like
Yeah,
it?
that's weird.
I don't always remember when they did it.
Now remember, did you not meet him until the wedding?
No, you would have met him before then.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is you.
Yeah.
That was on the screen.
Oh, was it?
I said the same thing.
Oh, did you?
I said, "This looks like Ashley."
So you don't remember? Did she make you nervous when you did, like, you have a feeling of?
It would have probably been a holiday or something.
She was just an old lady.
Oh, I'm sure she was. You love your hugs.
Yes, yeah.
She always, yeah, she likes all
You're asking the wrong guy, 'cause everybody likes names.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, where's Paul at?
I know, he might have an opinion on this.
Mom liked Luke, she likes Luke too, so it had to be Paul.
yeah,
She liked all of them. She likes all of them, yeah.
chocolate and
Probably lots of comments in general about Luke, for sure.
Yeah.
You need to get further.
So speaking of hearing how, what a great cook Aunt Millie was, kind of makes sense to a story my dad told. So for reference, my dad was Aunt Millie's older brother, and they lived, you know, here in Mansford in the 30s and 40s. And my dad, you know, they were visiting us some years back, and I was in the kitchen cooking, and I love cooking and that kind of stuff. And I always asked my dad, I said, you know, so, you know, Dad, how come you never, you know, learned to cook? You know, because I like cooking, Bill likes cooking, that kind of stuff. And he said, Dave, when I was a little, you know, when I was younger, and, you know, my little sister Millie was with me, I made her a deal. She didn't have to go to the barn, and I didn't have to go into the kitchen.
She jumped on that one, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Well, I
again, barn, not bar, right?
Either bar. Either one works. Oh, jeez.
I first met her when I was about 13, and I just discovered cassette recorders in 60. And I wanted to tape record Lester because he had so many great stories to tell. And I didn't know at the time, he hadn't told many of them to my dad. My dad was fairly quiet, like the greatest generation. And they both were writers, but I hadn't seen them, but I didn't think about it. I was just lying on a bed with Lester, running this tape recorder. And then Millie noticed that, and when it was over, said, oh, come here, I want to show you something. And she took me into her office where she was doing genealogy. I had heard the word, I didn't know what it was. And from then on, she made a point to always, mentor me, and so it's been a lifetime pursuit. And then when my
Community's getting a hell of an education.
when my first child was born in '94, I was 40, and so I don't know if my parents had given up waiting, but Millie and Donald were the first family to come see us. The day my wife came home from the hospital, they came to visit, so I was very grateful.
That's pretty sweet, I didn't know that.
Still the recording? The Lester? The recording?
You do.
Yeah, I have the magnetic tape, and I tried to digitize it about 10 years ago because tapes were out. So I have done something with it on the online website. I think I have some sections of that, of him telling stories.
That's cool.
They're on if you go to this is what I'm trying to do now, is charts of the family.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, so I'm Charles Jr. And so I'm now your designated genealogist.
But there's the Abernathey one.
What Millie did through exhaustive manual effort, right? I mean, you can look in those books and see, so I think part of my contribution was to turn all that into something that's digital and online and accessible for anyone to see. But I'm also a photographer, so I tried very hard to get pictures of everyone, or the town they were from, or the village in Germany where they're from. So that's part of what's on this. And now I'm trying to make charts. I'm trying to figure out how to make charts. Because there's some very interesting and complicated relationships, especially here in Lansford. Nothing illegal, but it's hard to figure out with words and read, you see the same name over and over and over again. And so I'm trying to figure out visual ways to show that. So, I'll be trying to get these better and make these available.
So I can just tell one little side kick to that. Charles has been sending me emails back and forth like last week, trying to identify the pictures of who they are. Of course, it doesn't help when they're like 3 years apart last summer and then 3 years before that. And after a while, he gave me one and sent me a recap of the changes that I gave him and corrections. Sent me another one. It was good, but still needed a lot of changes. And I wrote back to him. I said, but it's understandable because all the toeheads look the same.
He's trying to put names to all the pictures. That's what he was doing, and like the one would come, and then it's like he just kind of moved them.
Jaden is the one that's the worst because there's no room for Jaden or Christian. He didn't figure out where they went to.
But he got it.
Yeah. It was good. We had a good time with that.
When you were talking about the baby things, the poems and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if she did it for your kids' weddings or not, but when Jim and I got married, she sent me this girl, this is what it's like, they're not really married, and they having a gold thing, and having it on the wall, and my bedroom now. Situations, and things like that. I remember she used to come, she came when I got married the first time, I remember that, because I've got pictures of
speaking of relationships, Millie had the neatest picture invitation on her wall, and I was married to Kurt for 2 or 3 years, and I read it, and I went home and told him, and he said, well, that can't be. I said, oh, it is. The son of Lester and Ruth Convis married the daughter of Ruth Convis and Lester Convis. He says, no, that's not true. Just a second here, I said, I think it's right. I think we should be checking into this. When Millie wrote the book, and it's all, or Lester wrote the book, it's the Sunshine one, I said, here it is. I hope somebody has that invitation from the wall.
The shadow box.
The shadow box, I
Yeah,
think.
Well, it was in the cigar box.
Oh, yeah.
And the tradition was that the mother of the mother of the bride would make this with the invitation. They'd take a box of some kind. Well, Grandma had a cigar box. So it took a cigar box with the invitation in the back, and then there's like a porcelain little shoe and some flowers and some things like that. But it's the announcement of their wedding, and then the outside of the box was decorated with lace and stuff like that. But it says, the parents of Don and Millie, Donald Abernathy, or Mildred Convis and Donald Abernathy would.
No, it went
It
like
says-
this, because she had me read it.
Okay.
She goes, you'll never see one
That's why I
like
didn't
this.
say it.
Yeah, and it said, Mr. and Mrs. Lester Convis announced the engagement of her son, Donald LeRae, to her,
His
daughter.
We all need pictures.
Yeah, because she's like, you'll never see another one like this. It's like one of the first times I came to their house, and I'm like, what am I getting into?
That's why I got 6 tons.
It explains a lot.
I used to entertain my friends on Saturday nights, just trying to explain the family tree.
The only reason Rhonda stayed was I told her I was adopted.
Maybe easier. Yeah, she made pheasant feather pictures too, didn't it? How many of you got any one of those?
Hangs in the bathroom.
Yeah, she made a lot of people wedding gifts, or I think most of them.
Dad made a frame, and she made it.
Yeah, they had the concave glass and the.
Doug shot the pheasants.
And Doug shot the feathers.
Family affair.
And she would do some watercolor behind them with. Yeah, she shared her talents with family
Friends.
and friends. She did. This was fun.
Wasn't it, Brianna?
And you were so good through the whole
Just,
thing.
the best part is, Brianna's gonna have the last word tomorrow.
I took it all up tonight.
There might be some finger pointing going on tomorrow.
Are we gonna watch, did you all watch the video before we started having fellowship, or you wanna watch it? Wanna watch it before tomorrow?
Can I add one thing real quick?
Yeah.
I brought 8 USB drives that have 4 videos that my parents made from 1952 on, that include a lot of people that have to have been great or great-grandparents. I know one of them, but some I can't identify. Then there's another one of my dad standing at the family homestead talking for about 20 minutes about all the things. And then, because it's digital, I made a 1,000-page book of Millie's ancestors going back 5 generations, descendants going on, and then all the relatives going sideways. And so there's a PDF on here of that. And so I have 8, if you want to respect the show. I mean, I can also put these online.
Right?
You took one
Yeah, I
already.
got one.
Yeah, but if anybody, I want to make sure all the far corners of the family, because as you look at it, you no doubt will find some mistakes. And so my email is on there, there's contact information on each one. So please help me, correct.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
So do you guys, can we watch the video tonight? I want to tell you that Mom, when she cleaned, And there was never any radio on in the car, there was never any radio on at the house, nothing. But when she was working around the house or in the yard, she was singing. And it was usually Doris Day, Debbie Reynolds, Judy Garland, Judy Andrews, or My Best to You. It wasn't Slim Whitman's part of it, but that's who's singing it on the way. So we chose music